especially I'm talking to the women, not the men. The women that said that it is because of the way the woman dresses, that is why her husband is running around. Hello? Hello? Is anybody home? Are you kidding me? Hey, voila. What's up, world? You are welcome to Let's Tell You. Today we are discussing Winning with People by John C Maxwell. Okay, so John C Maxwell is someone that, I've been talking about him a lot recently. He's someone I decided to make my personal person for this year. I'm going to read a lot of his books, and this book was suggested to me after I listened to the book Failing Forward, which I discussed last week or my last video. So I'm putting the link up here so that you can see it. So winning with people is all about relationships. It's all about being able to be a good leader, being able to be a good partner, being able to be a good parent. It's just all about rich ways that you can make your relationship work. And he wrote this thing so simply. I don't even understand how to explain it. He made it look like it's as simple as ABC, but it's like he just broke it down. It's easy for you to pick out where your flaws are, and you can decide what you want to do. So in this book he explains that there are 5 critical questions that you should answer when it comes to winning with people. And those questions are: there's the readiness question, there's the connection question, there's the investment question, there's the trust question, and there is the synergy question. So there's 5 of them. So these 5 made the 5 chapters of the book. Is a pretty small book, like 4 hours long. So like it made the 5 chapters of the book. Then in each chapter of this question, that is these questions that are critical, he explained principles that you have to bear in mind. So I'm going to spend time talking a bit about that. Then you can decide if you should go ahead and read it or not, because this book is, honestly, I think it's worth it. It's really nice. Okay, so before I start, I'm going to say something about this Derrick Jaxon situation, right? So if you are interested in anything about that, I'm going to leave a time here. Like if you don't care about this book and you want to go straight to that story, I'll leave the time somewhere here so that you can just go straight there, and listen. But I would stay with me. That's what I'm saying. Just stay with me. I'll still leave the link. I'll still leave the time here for you to go there, so you can just come across and go there and listen to what I have to say about that. So, okay. So I'm going to be looking at my book because the writing was plenty. So in the readiness question, and there's something that he called the lens principle. In the readiness question, he had five principles, but the lens principle stood out to me more. So in the lens principle, it's about the way you look at the world is the way you look at yourself. Do you understand? Like the lens in the camera. Do you understand? So the way you look at people is the way you look at the world. What you give, I don't know, is what a lot of us call energy now. Energy, vibe. They say people have negative energy. To me, I feel like all this have made it look lighter than it actually is. The fact is that if you're someone that feels a certain way about some certain things, when you go to approach something, it will affect the way you approach that thing. If you're entering a new terrain, trying to start a new thing, and your theory is that people are not trustworthy, people are wicked, you will tend to experience that more than somebody that just believes, you know what, we can kill this, we can make it happen. That doesn't mean that there will be no shortfallings, but it just affects the end result. Do you understand? So that's number 1. That's the readiness question. Number 2 is the connection question, the learning principle. I love the learning principle. The learning principle is about, now this connection part is actually about understanding that everybody around you, the learning principle is understanding everybody around you can learn something from them. Do you understand? So anybody that is around you, like if you meet a kid tomorrow, you can learn from them. If you meet somebody on the road, like somebody you know nothing about, as in, what I like about the learning principle, or what makes the learning principle very cool, is that nobody is beneath you. There is something for you to learn from everyone. It's actually a great way to connect to people, and it's easy, as in easily we should know that just like how you like talking about yourself, others like talking about themselves too. Now, if you want to win with people, it's important that people know that you're listening to them and you're learning from them. And then when you learn from them, tell them that you're learning from them. It will make them, you've won with them. Do you understand? It makes them cherish you being in their life. It's kind of tricky, but that's kind of how it is. And then when you talk about care and learning, be genuine about it. That's another thing. Be genuine. Don't fake it. Don't say, wow, that was a great idea, and you don't care. Be genuine about it. Don't go and lie, because you have to keep up and act for a very long time. You're not winning, you're just faking. Okay, so that's number 2. That's the connection question. The trust question, the Bob, this one I actually wrote 2 because there were 2 that really stuck to me. There's the Bob principle. You know the theory. I think it was an advert, be like Bob. Do you understand? But I think he made, the beginning was a line of Bob. He said, if everyone has a problem with Bob, then Bob is the problem. I remember saying this to someone, I remember mentioning this to someone once, and the person got very offended. But personally, I have been this person for a while. I've been someone that for a while, one point in my life, everyone had a problem with me, and as far as concerned, everybody else was the problem. But with time, I was like, if everybody that does not know each other, if people that don't know anything about anything, just I don't know anything about each other, are complaining about the same thing concerning me, they are likely right. Now, I'm not saying that you have to change it. He's not saying that you have to change it, but you have to understand that if you're winning with people, you have to bear in mind that you cannot have the same negative problem consistently with people and then think that you're going to be winning with them. It doesn't come automatically. It cannot be forced. Do you understand? So that's the Bob principle. The next one is the Foxhole principle. The Foxhole is actually a term that used to be used in the US Army, where if you're digging a trench, if you're digging a hole to be able to fight an opponent in battlefield, you create what they call a foxhole. A foxhole is basically a hole for both you and a friend. What that means is that if I'm in the battlefield and I'm in a hole fighting alone, my friend should be able to come in, defend me, and still be able to defend himself in this hole. So have people in your life, or be that person that is the foxholer with someone else. Be someone that in their worst time or in their best time, they can count on you to be there for them, and you're able to do everything. That is how you win with people. That's the connection. Sorry, that was the trust. I'm so sorry. That's the trust. Next one is investment. The celebration, the celebration principle. This one hits home for a lot of us. Now that we're in the social media era, the possibility of being envious is very high. I don't think, we don't know yet if a lot of people are ready to admit to that. There's envy, I'm a little jealous, like, and be able to do something about it. But it's hard for you to celebrate with someone and still be jealous of them. That's genuine celebration, though. Not the Nigerian one where we go and do party, and all that. When we not get home, be like, I beg, this is what happened, that what happened. You have to learn to be genuinely happy for people. When you cannot be there for someone only when things are down. That's problematic, actually. So being there for someone only when they are down, then when they are celebrating, you're not there. That means it's like a God factor. So sorry. That means that you just feel useful to them when they are going through something, not when they are celebrating. I don't know if you understand. So be that person that can find joy despite whatever it is. That is how you win people. Be genuinely happy for people. When people are going to do something that would help them, be genuine about helping them. That's just how these things work. If you're someone that you cannot find joy in someone else doing something that is even their own path, has nothing to do with you, my dear, you're not going to win people, So that's the investment question. Now, in the investment question, it's actually more about is you're investing in people's lives that you can gain. You can gain by winning people. Do you understand? That's how that works. So the last one, definitely not the least, synergy. Synergy is about satisfaction principles. This one at this point is just like, when you have an old friend, someone you can just chill with. I am blessed to have a few people like this in my life right now, where I can just sit down, be in the same space with them. We're quiet, we're not quarreling, nothing is wrong. You don't have to yabba yabba yabba. You don't have to keep trying to impress. You don't have to keep putting on a show. You are just there and you guys are fine. We're just on the chill and everything is good. So that's the satisfaction question. But I do have to mention, in this synergy part, he talked a lot about the importance of, give me a second, let me come up with the word. The problem, let me use the word problem. The downside of always being a receiver or having a lopsided relationship. Do you understand? Honestly, he says that don't be comfortable with being in a lopsided relationship. A lopsided relationship is a relationship where somebody gives everything and someone collects everything. That is a lopsided relationship. Be comfortable with a relationship where the person gives, you take, you give, the person takes. Then as time goes by, all of you are always on a balance. Now, a lot of times when we talk about giving, a lot of people think about money. But think about, if you look at life in a more flat surface, you realize that it's not just all about money. There is so much you can give that has nothing to do with money. Do you understand? If someone has more money than you and all they can give is money, that doesn't mean it's only money that you can give them. There are so many other things you might be able to do. You might be able to give your time, your prayer, your energy, your advice, your knowledge, your, I don't know, anything. They can ask you to help them do something and you can go and do it. They're your friends. Do you understand? No, you'll not say because they have money now they think they can send me. You're their friend, or they're your friends, or they are people that you're trying to have great relationships with. And why this is a big note in the head is that when you get older, most of the examples that he used in this particular story were about people that have been friends, as the people have had relationships for 50 years, for 60 years. So like for you to be able to last that long in a relationship, it usually comes from having great synergy with people. And if you're one person that is always in a lopsided relationship, your relationships cannot last long because nobody wants to give. It's exhausting for the giver. It becomes entitlement for the taker. Do you understand? So it's like if you're someone that is always receiving and you think you're good, my dear, try not to be good. Get up and start looking for ways to give back to someone that is always giving you, be it your parents, be it your friends. Because see, at a particular time, if you're somebody that is always collecting, people will stop calling you Abi. Don't you know people that do it? So particular people, they're like, I beg, I can't answer this person, because they know that the only time person calls is that they want something, and that's just how the relationship is. It has always been like that, and it's been like that for 10 years. And the person is not angry. I was calling you the other day, you didn't answer me. I was saying, so you're not feeling like a big girl. Why would the person feel like a big girl, or you're not feeling like a big boy? Why would the person feel like a big boy? All you're doing is asking for. So like, think about it that way. So these are the questions that he asked. This book is actually so beautiful, and like I said, it's very simplistic. Like these critical questions, I call them these 5 pillars of the book, and he turned those into chapters where he just sat down and talked a lot, putting in examples and talking about how you can take small steps in each way to improve the relationships in your life. So that's that about this book. So I'm going to talk about this Derrick Jaxon situation. Now, for those who may not know, Derrick Jaxon is a motivational speaker. Apparently, like he calls himself a relationship or marriage guru, something like that. I don't know anything about this man until this happened. So I imagine I've seen one of his posts. Apparently, he talks a lot about women about what they should and should not accept when it comes to relationship. Do not accept a traveling man. Don't accept a cheating man. A man that is not faithful to you. Make sure the man treats you well. Those kind of things. So those things are actually good. They are good teachings. I'm sorry, they are good. Okay, so but recently the man was found. I think he had, apparently in all of this he had been married for years, and in a lot of this he had been cheating on his wife with several women. At the moment, I think there are about 3 or 4 women that have come out and said, I was with him. He told me that he and his wife were having issues, and they are still together. Like one actually said that they were pregnant for him, like last year or late last year. So so please just do a bit of search. I don't want to go into the whole story because it doesn't matter. But something very interesting happened where when he was now trying to come out with the truth, I put the truth in the air because it was very somehow done. When he was coming out with okay, so this is my story, this is what happened. It was he came with his wife. His wife is someone that apparently has never been in public eye before. They knew he was married, but they didn't know who she was. Most people did not know who she was. And then he comes with this woman. The woman is uncomfortable wearing this cap and all that. And then after this thing, a lot of people start attacking the wife for the way she looked. She wore a bonnet and blah blah blah. That some people actually said things like how when she's dressed like that, why won't the husband be running up and down? Okay, so let me tell you, I talk a lot about social media sense, having social media sense, managing your social media mind. There's such a thing. I'm going to put a link to anything I said about social media, maybe 1 or 2. I'll put it here somewhere because it's something I discuss often enough. Number 1 being that you should learn to manage your expectations on social media. There's this lofty idea a lot of people have with social media. I don't know whether it comes from training, maybe because of things that we've seen a lot and things that we believe that are okay. Some people don't have the beautiful white houses. Some people don't have the beautiful perfect marriages. Some people don't have those ideas. They don't have the beautiful children, the perfect children. Some people just have regular folk. Some people don't have the unrealistically pretty love relationship. See, some people don't have those things. But the thing is that what's happening now is that because people are always looking at that, the people that are able to portray these ideals are people that get more viewing, more traction, more engagement. It is problematic because what that means is that we social media viewers are basically telling people that we need you to be perfect for us to look at you. This is not a TV, this is not a movie. A movie where you can gather actors and actresses, they'll act him and go back to their house. No, this is people's reality. When people sit down and telling you about problem, understand that they have issues at their back. Bringing me to number 2, Nobody is perfect. Remember that. Remember that. Please, that thing where somebody, just because someone tells you that they are like, I mean, okay, let me use me for a second, because it's only me I'm going to use. The first 3 weeks of March, I did not feel like reading. I did not feel like reading. If you notice, if you go back, you realize that the last video I did, before I think my last 2 videos, there was a space of like 2 or 3 weeks. So it's a problem for you, or it's a problem for someone somewhere to now assume that I'm always reading, I'm always in place. It's an assumption that is faulty. While I will try to read as much as possible because I need to improve my life, in addition to also convince you to read it to improve your life, understand that there are sometimes I don't feel like reading. I just don't. Things happen and I don't feel like reading. I think in my first video of the year, I talked about how that happened to me so many times last year. So that's how these things work. Now, so if I come and I'm telling you that, okay, I talk about books, blah, 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 it's easy for you to now go, why doesn't she read so much anyway? That, do you understand? Don't be so judgmental. I think that's the word. Nobody is perfect. Stop being so bloody judgmental. Stop being so self-righteous about things that you cannot do, but you're putting it on someone else to do. That's number 2. Number 3. This number 3 is specifically for the women. Especially, I'm talking to the women, not the men. The women that said that it is because of the way the woman dresses, that is why her husband is running around. Hello? Hello? Is anybody home? Are you kidding me? Hey, voila. Do you want me to list everybody that has been cheated on and how they look? Should I be putting pictures so it can be seen? See, I'm going to see shade. I'm throwing shade right now, right? It's only a small-minded person that has never been in a relationship long enough that will assume that look has anything to do with somebody cheating on you, man or woman alike. That's number 3. Number 4, last, definitely not the least. Just because this man committed what he committed does not stop what he's saying from being the truth. I realized that there was an outburst. Like I said, this is not somebody I know, as in, it's not someone I used to listen to before. So I don't have the emotion a lot of people are having. I had to go and do research. Like, what makes this? Why are people so annoyed with this man for cheating on his wife? He didn't commit a crime. He cheated on his wife, and people are telling her to leave. And I'm like, are you going to be there with her when she leaves or when she stays? Because either way, if she stays, it's hard. If she leaves, it's hard. But you see, she's an old woman. She's a grown woman. Sorry, she can do what she wants to do. Whatever she thinks is good for her now, she can do it. There's nothing we can do. We can sit down here and talk from today to tomorrow, but there's no way you can tell a grown person what to do and how to do what needs to be done. But all that aside, a lot of people seem to be happy, especially the men. At this point, it's the men. The men are saying things like, yes, you that was saying you're a queen, let your man treat you like a queen, you've gone out to cheat. It's like there's a sense of joy that comes from the fact that the man cheated. I'm sorry, you. It doesn't stop what he said from being the truth. You need to treat your woman like a queen. You need to treat your woman right. It's not okay to cheat. Just because he's out there running wild does not mean all of us come and run wild together. I don't even understand why a lot of us seem to want to amplify the bad things. There are good things that can be amplified to make your relationship work. So you think that because this man, the word in my mind, this man of a man has decided now that despite all the things that he had said, he decided to floor everything and do what he wanted to do. That means that it's okay for you to do it. It's not though. Do you understand? And then that now squeezes into like another part. Let me say part 4B. Part 4B saying that because someone did something shouldn't be the influence of that, shouldn't be what influences you from doing, as in what makes you do something. Like if you're married women out there, listen for a second. Your husband cheated. You now think that you should go and cheat. Who are you doing? You know something a lot of people don't understand. Cheating is not, as in it's painful to the other spouse, but it's not about the other person. It's actually more about the person that is doing the cheating. Do you understand? We have to get that into our mind very fast. Someone that is going around and hopping and saying that person is ruining their own relationship. It's not you. They are hurting themselves. It's not you. You as a relationship, as a member of the relationship that he is breaking, you have to protect yourself. That's for sure. And honestly, I cannot begin to explain the pain because I've not experienced it. But what I'm saying is that you need to understand that you, the cheater now, not the person, the other person, you, the cheater, need to understand that you are hurting yourself. You're not doing anybody, you're doing yourself. You're choosing to cheat. Then doing it because somebody who used to tell you that you shouldn't do it wakes up one day and does it, you now feel like, you want to do it. My dear, it's like you just want to, you've chosen ignorance and decide to dwell in the ignorance. Anyway, my talk is done. Please read Winning with people. Okay, this book is wonderful. It's a wonderful read. If you've read it before, or if you're a fan of John C Maxwell, I'd like to hear your comment below. Let me know what you think. Of course, I also want to hear a comment below concerning anything concerning this Derrick Jaxon thing. And thank you so much for watching. And please don't forget to like the video if you like it, and then subscribe, and then thanks for watching. Bye bye.